go.
All right, now Neil Rudel said something at the end of the game, which I thought was fascinating after this 43-40 victory. How did you describe this game?
I think it was the greatest finish that I can remember. I mean, in Beaver Stadium history, you haven't had a 4 overtime game. So, and I think the fact that you add all this up, it's the first sellout, there was so much for them to be gained, so many goodwill fan-wise. They maximized, I think they just maximized the whole experience.
I just thought it was a tremendously exciting finish. Now, there's a big difference between an exciting finish and good football, because what we saw for the last 45 minutes was not good football. I broke it down. I thought the touchdown drive at the end of regulation, for me, Neil, I thought that was the identity of the Penn State kids, that they're never going to quit. It took them 23 seconds to go 80 yards. Regardless of what happened in overtime, I thought that resiliency was amazing.
It was amazing. I mean, you have no timeouts left. Hackenberg, boom, 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 3 completions in a row, 2 great catches by Robinson. Then he hits Felder for another 29 yards. You know, there were a lot of bad plays in this game. Michigan kind of self-destructed at times, but I think based on Penn State losing to Indiana, you have an open date. Now you're going into Columbus. I don't think that many people will pick Penn State to beat Ohio State, but I think the whole frame of mind of the football program right now, they could still have a decent year.
And that's what's great about sports, because if their kid Gibbons makes a 33-yard field goal that's dead on, a chip shot for a good college kicker, they lose this game, and we're probably singing a little bit of a different tune. And that's why when I look at this game, I look at the end of regulation, and yeah, they won, but they very easily could have lost. But that's what's great about sports, is it can swing, and your whole thought process can swing on a couple of plays.
Yeah, and you saw that in the Orange Bowl a few years ago with, there's so much pressure on kickers in overtime. Yep. I mean, there were 5 field goals that were missed or blocked in the fourth quarter or overtime.
I got to be honest, I thought Brady Hoke coached horribly in overtime. Just so conservative, staying in the middle of the field, not trying to give your kicker a little bit more room. He settled for a 40-yarder in the first overtime in front of 107,000 kids, or stadium on the road. They had 3rd and 1 at the 16 later on. He gives it to Fitzgerald Toussaint I thought Brady Hoke coached just so conservatively, and I think it hurt his team in overtime.
Yeah, and conversely, Bill O'Brien was really aggressive, did a great job in overtime. And I was standing in the end zone at the end of regulation, and I said, hey, if they score here, are they going to go for 2? And I think he made the smart move not to do it. I just think you're at home, you have a lot of emotion, you're coming back, and I think it would have been kind of a letdown, even though you played a win. I like that, but it's only one play, and it's from the 2 rather than going 4th and 1 at the 16.
Well, you can't count out Penn State. I mean, really, you have to feel great for those kids and that coaching staff after losing to Indiana. That was a tough loss. So a very exciting game. This would have been the story probably after the game had they lost, the Zach Zwinnak fumble, which really changed the momentum. I do want to address it because he didn't see the field the rest of the game, and Zach Zwinak's a good kid, and I think he's their best running back. Belton had a great day today, but, man, that's just the kind of mistake you can't make.
Yeah, and it's been more than just one fumble now. Fumbled against Central Florida. He's fumbled 7 times, and it doesn't look like it's necessarily huge shots that are jarring the ball loose, so that's really something that has to be fixed. I mean, you just cannot... You can't function with your lead back being a liability and fumble, and that's a shame because that sucked the air out of the stadium. I thought they played really well in the first half. They're up 21-10. They got the ball back in the 3rd quarter. If they can possess the ball a little bit, and they're still up 2 scores. I mean, that just really... Michigan went from there on a 24-3 run.
Yeah, really good win, though. Now they get a week off, then they go to Ohio State. Hey, it's always good going into a bye with a win. Again, you just have to feel it wasn't the greatest football in the world, but the resiliency of these Penn State kids, we saw it again.
And I'd like to, I think their defense, which really had not played that well in a couple of their losses, even though Michigan had 40 points, I thought Penn State's defense really hung in there until they eventually broke late in the game. I thought that they did what they could to put the team in a position to win.
All right,
a lot of guys in there.
Yeah,
I mean,
C.J. Olanian, Daquan Jones, Zettel played great. Really, the defense absolutely did well. All right, Neil Rudel, I'm Corey Geiger, Lee Carey on the video. Thanks for tuning in.